guys my movie review of Hellboy. Now, this was a very good film, very well written, very well directed. Now, is this action-packed film of a remake perfect? No. There are moments in this movie that you want this movie to be straightforward and more serious. Considering the fact that it was rated R, I think this was the best thing to show a darker Hellboy, not the Hellboy that's lighthearted and is kid-friendly. They went the same route with this Hellboy being rated R like they did for the last and final film of Logan with Wolverine in it. So this movie has a lot of those elements from that film in this film. You know, you can tell that he is an asshole, but you can also tell there is some humanity to the character. Now, the beginning of the movie opens up with him actually getting ready to fight monsters, as you can imagine. You know, he goes to a wrestling ring. Hold on. Spoiler alert. Let me say it again. Spoiler alert. Let me say it again. Spoiler alert. Hold on. I know this is getting irritating. Spoiler alert. The reason why I'm saying spoiler alert is because if you have not seen the new movie Hellboy, you might want to go see the movie and then come back and see the movie review. A lot of people like to see the movie review first, then go see the movie, and then get mad because I spoiled the whole movie. So, spoiler alert, you've been warned. Spoiler alert, last chance. Spoiler alert. Alright, let's get on to the movie review. Now, he goes to find his lost best friend who got bit and became a vampire, and immediately they established the Hellboy that comic book fans wanted from the very beginning. This Hellboy fights vampires, werewolves, witches, warlocks, other demons, and you could tell that he's been doing this for like 10 to 15 years. He's in his prime, and he's basically a big stocky guy. You know, he drinks beer, you know, he doesn't always follow the rules, and when he fights his friend in a wrestling match, he actually takes part in wrestling, which kind of show his primary fighting style, that he'll wrestle, he'll box, he'll do street fighting, you know. And this Hellboy's actually smart and intelligent, where he's not being outsmarted. He's actually showing that he is not just all about combat. He knows how to make plans on the go. When he realizes that his father was actually sent to kill him, you can see the humanity in this character. Like, you feel for him that he came from hell, but he's a descendant of King Arthur, and that the mythology had changed from the original source material. Now, when he gets introduced to other characters, we see that he can interact with other characters. You know, the girl from London, you know, with the dreadlocks, she had a very good role. I was surprised that they actually played it up where he would meet her after he fought the giants. You know, he was supposed to die, but miraculously he lived. And like the Hellboy that, you know, they made fun of him in a parody, this Hellboy, he's not invincible. He can be hurt. He can be harmed. He can heal, but he can be harmed. And they didn't want to make him exactly completely like the dark version, but they got close to that interpretation. Now, the Asian actor that they had, the fact that he would transform into a saber-toothed tiger was incredible. So it showed that he's not the only character that you would have to fight. Now, let's talk about villains. Now, they didn't just have one villain in this movie. They had a series of villains. You know, Jolie Mobilevich, who we all know from the Resident Evil movie series, she is a phenomenal actress. Like, she killed it as a villain. Like, she immediately showed what her motivation was and her purpose. And having this pig bring her back to do her true purpose was perfect. You know, and of course, it was sad that, you know, the father figure had to get killed off. And immediately it was just them three trying to save the world. We see Merlin trying to get him to get the sword of King Arthur, which later in the film he does get the sword because it's his motivation. You know, he realizes his true potential, destruction, hell on earth. And to our surprise credit, he does that. He kills her, sends her to hell. And the end credit was poetic because it seems like these three are going to be the ones saving the world in a future Hellboy sequel. And they introduce another character at the end of the movie. which kind of surprises to let us know it's going to be these 4 people. They're going to fight the forces of darkness. Now, this movie had a blend of action with some comedy. It wasn't until the middle of the movie that it turned into a dark film. So yes, it is a dark film. It is rated R, which served a good purpose. Now, by no means this movie's perfect. This Hellboy film was not perfect. It did have moments where you went, can it be as serious as the trailers? Now, it was funny in certain moments. There's a lot of profanity language, which is why it's rated R. And it turned out that this is the best thing to do, is to make it rated R. Now, I give this Hellboy a 9 out of 10 because you got more action out of this reboot than you did from the original films. And I'm not trying to knock the original Hellboy films by no stretch of imagination. Those were some good films. But this is close to the proper interpretation of Hellboy. You know, he smokes, he drinks, he has sex with prostitutes and hookers, he breaks the rules, he makes his own rules, he follows his own principle. He may not always do the right thing. And you see, they didn't show his love interest, which I thought was the best part of the film. Don't have Hellboy fall in love yet. Like, wait until Hellboy 2 or Hellboy 3 in 6 years down the road where this character is truly established. Show him in his prime. And then maybe when we get to a Hellboy 2 or a Hellboy 3, we can kind of get to who his love interest will be. But I have a feeling that they might make the female character that he already met in this film, I think when they make her about 23, 24, I think that might be his love interest there. I don't think we might see characters like Liz resurface unless they can find some way to make it to where she gets recruited, which I do believe in the second film or third film. They're probably going to have her character, but they're going to have her origins a little different. So some of the traditional Hellboy characters will return in these sequels, and some of them probably will not. So that's my movie review of Hellboy. It gets a 9 out of 10.